Okay, so I did the Pigpen cipher, and this one was actually really interesting to me just because at first, looking at like the symbols, I thought it was going to be super, super hard to be able to read when actually it's like one of the easiest ones. So, a little bit of history about it. The true origins of the Pigpen cipher are still unknown, pretty much just because this is a code that's been used for a very, very long time. It's also known as a Freemason cipher, which is cool. It has a bunch of different names, but the most common are probably Pigpen and Freemason cipher. So it's a substitutional cipher that replaces letters with symbols or symbols with letters, whichever way you want to look at it. This was used by a secret society called Freemasons in the 18th century. That's kind of when we started to see it really common. And they use this code to keep all of their records private. It was also used by Union prisoners in Confederate camps in the Civil War. They would write their code down on papers and pass it along. And occasionally, like, their messages would get intercepted, and then these prisoners would be in way bigger trouble than they were before. And so that was crazy. It's also known as the Pigpen cipher because in the next graph I'll show you, a lot of people think it looks like a pig pen, and then the little dots are the pigs inside the pen. So over here to the right, you can see how like the boxes would look like pig pens. But the whole thing's pretty straightforward. So for encryption, you replace the letter with the designated symbol. And so each symbol are assigned to a letter, and this is like the alphabet in the little picture next to it. And so then decryption is pretty much the exact same thing, just opposite. So you still use a picture to find it, but you just replace the symbol with the letter to read it. So super simple, super simple. And they actually had a lot of problems with this just because it is so simple that I couldn't really find exactly one person who like cracked the code of it, just because it was pretty common and not hard at all to understand what they were saying. So when I looked it up, I couldn't find a certain person. And then here's my example. So this up at the top right is like the alphabet, and it's way more simple than the other picture. So those are the symbols for each of the letters, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, as you can tell, like with that, like it would be super easy to crack the code. And then here's my example down here. It says escape. So you just find, the E, go up, look for E, it's a box, and then S is that one, the V, and then C is the L, and then A is like the backwards L, P is a half box with the dot on the top, and then E again with the box. So yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really simple, not very hard. So just because it was common, I couldn't find an exact person who cracked the code. And then on this next slide is my citations. So this is where I got all of my pictures and all my information from. So yeah, that is the Pigpen cipher.